advent of Europeans to India. Introduction. Why did the Europeans come to India? What were their activities in the beginning? How was it possible for only the British, among all the Europeans, to settle down in India? What were its effects? Answers to all these questions have been provided in this lesson. Seeing the teacher write in big letters on the board the advent of Europeans to India, Ramu asked,
Who are the Europeans? Why did they come to India?
The people of different countries of Europe are called Europeans. For the British, French, Portuguese, Dutch, Italians, Germans, etc. Some among them came to India to carry on trade.
Who was the first among the Europeans to come to India?
The Portuguese were the first Europeans to come to India. The king of Calicut, Zamorin, gave permission to the Portuguese sailor, Vasco da Gama, to carry on trade. Albuquerque came to India in 1509 as the first governor of the Portuguese. His goal was to establish Portuguese power in India. He seized the rich Goa port from the Vijayapura Sultan. His administration was faulty because people of different religions were being tortured. The governors who succeeded Albuquerque established colonies in Diu, Daman, Salsette, Bassein, Chaul, Mumbai, Santhome and Hooghly of Bengal.
What were the reasons for the decline of the Portuguese?
The Dutch and the British possessed a strong naval force and were thus powerful rivals of the Portuguese. The Portuguese government officials became corrupt and disloyal. Slowly, the government deteriorated. Bigotry was the main reason for the decline of the Portuguese. They forcibly converted people of different religions into Christianity. Besides, the collapse of the Vijayanagar Empire, with whom the Portuguese had good relations, led to the decrease in trade. All these are the factors which led to the decline of the Portuguese power in India.
The Portuguese were the first Europeans to arrive in India and the last to leave it. Only Goa, Diu and Daman remained with the Portuguese till the end. Although the British rule ended in 1947, the Portuguese did not vacate our land. The Indians in Goa fought in a non-violent manner for Goa's liberation. But they were subjected to merciless torture. Finally, in 1961, the Indian military force succeeded in defeating the Portuguese and liberating Goa.
In which areas in India did the Dutch have their trade centers?
The Dutch who were from Holland, the Netherlands, had their trade centers in Agra, Machilipatnam, Surat, Karaikal, Patna, Nagpatna, Kochi, etc. The Dutch clashed with the British. But the British defeated them. With this, trade relations in India between the Dutch and the British came to an end.
Which were the places in India where the British had established their trade centers?
The English merchants desired to have trade with the eastern countries and formed the British East India Company. With the permission of Queen Elizabeth in 1600, they began their trade relations with India. In the beginning, the ships of the East India Company docked at Surat harbour. After securing the approval of the Mughal Emperor, Jahangir, they set up trade centers in Surat, Agra, Ahmedabad and Broach. Later, they started business establishments in Madras, Calcutta and Mumbai. As the time passed, the profits of the company increased considerably. The British merchants obtained the permission from the weak Mughal emperor to carry on trade without having to pay tax. This practice is called dastak in the Bengal province, modern-day Bengal, Bihar and Odisha and Surat. Soon these merchants grew more powerful than the native merchants. With an intention to increase their power, the British constructed forts around their residential areas. They employed soldiers to protect these forts and stocked gunpowder too. Very soon, the British military power became greater than that of the Indian kings.
Who were the last to come for trade to India? In which areas did they have their trade centers?
The French were the last among the Europeans to come to India for trade. They established the French East India Company in 1664 and started their trade centers in Surat, Pondicherry, Machilipatnam, Calicut, Mahe, Karaikal and Chandranagar. Within a very short time, political clashes began between the British and the French, who emerged victorious. What was the impact of this on Indian history? Let us learn about this in the next lesson.